Well, I have the responsibility and the pleasure of being able to address you after this really stimulating day. And there are several points that I want to make. One is that I think that UAB was very pleased to be able to have its faculty and staff organize this event. Second is that I think we've had a lot of UAB people here who have listened to a lot of the things that have gone on today. And we hope that we're going to be able to help move forward with some positive steps. Just for those of you who are not aware of who we are and how important we are, just a few facts here. We are the largest employer in Alabama, 23,000 employees. Our annual budget, including the health system, is $2.6 billion annually. So we know we are very, very critical to Birmingham's economy. We're very good at bringing in federal dollars and private sector dollars to help with our research portfolio. And the overall economic impact of UAB on Birmingham is $4.6 billion annually. Thank you. This is a quote that we drag out a lot, but circa 1970, our first president, Joseph Volcker, put forward what I think are words that we've really tried to live by here for the last 40-odd years. We would do Birmingham a great disservice if we dreamed too little dreams. When we began as an extension university of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, we have now grown to, in many people's opinion, I think, outshine our roots. And we're very proud of what we've been able to do here, both for the people that work in Birmingham and those that live here. So it's an important audacity, I think, that we've had, and it's an audacity that we want to bring to some of the problems that we've talked about today. So as I've listened today, or listened through some of these talks, what is it that we really can do? And these are just some things that I've jotted down. We can set a good example. This was brought up. If we really are going to walk the walk as well as talk the talk, we do need to make sure that our campus is designed with bike lanes and is using the best kind of environmentally sound practices that we can. And I think there's a great enthusiasm to have these kinds of transitions take place on our campus. We do bring people into town. We have 17,000 students. Many of them come in from the outside, but as you know, we're moving more and more toward a residentially based campus. Our master plan calls for the building of dormitories that are extending up toward 3rd and 4th Avenue South. We want to help densify, if that's a word, the downtown area to make services, supermarkets, whatever it is, really bring those kinds of services down to the people in Birmingham. And we think we can do that by expanding this residential presence that we have, as well as by bringing folks in who work here and commute to go to school here. We can provide expertise, whether it's our School of Education, our School of Engineering, or our colleges of the health professions. We know we have a lot of expertise here, and as Dr. Fuad said, it is this whole idea of sustainability is becoming a very important part of what we see as a strategic plan for our future. So we are committed to continuing to build our research base and build it in a way that will help with some of the ideas that were presented today. But where I want to spend a little more time is talking about the other way that I think Birmingham really benefits from UAB and where UAB feels a real obligation. And that is to really generate jobs and opportunities here. We appreciate how important we are to the economy, and we're always looking for ways where we can create these opportunities for a whole cross-section of folks that are within the community. We get $270 million from the state. That's an impressive number, but we are phenomenal at leveraging that 16 to 1 to get to that economic impact of $4.6 billion. We've had to suffer through 3 years, now 4 years, where our budgets have been slashed by the state. We all know it's a hard time. We've done as much as we could with a smaller state appropriation. We're trying very hard to make sure that the state appreciates that the economic development prowess that we bring to Birmingham is something that needs to be fostered, and that strangling us with continuing decreasing allocations is not a great way to grow Birmingham's economy. In thinking about who it is that contributes to this $4.6 billion, the health center is clearly a very, very big player. We build buildings all the time. We haven't started a major building here in a while. Children's Hospital is finishing up, but both building on the medical center front as well as in the academic front, we know provides lots of jobs to people that aren't directly employed by the university. Students and on-campus activities, we are bringing people from across the state and across the Southeast and across the world to Birmingham. We know that that's generating economic opportunities that wouldn't be here if we weren't here. And our research, as I said, we are able to bring in about $450 million, probably two-thirds of that, $300 million of payroll every year from federal and private sources outside the state of Alabama. So we are employing a lot of people based on our ability to win these very highly competitive awards that are made by the National Science Foundation, the National Institutes of Health, or places like the Gates Foundation. And then spin-offs. We're looked upon as an engine in which we are going to be able to take our most innovative ideas and turn those into businesses that are going to grow up in the Birmingham area. And again, let me spend just a little bit more time talking about that. So a sustainable Birmingham really depends upon the creation of the clean and persistent ongoing jobs, as well as making sure that we have an environment of innovation here. We want to be able to harness innovative ideas and translate them into real opportunities for growth. We know that's critical. We have been as good as we've been for the last 40 years because we have not let silos get in our way. We have our share of prima donnas, let me assure you. None of them are in this room, of course. But we do a very good job of making sure that the greater good is something that everybody appreciates. We don't have a chip on our shoulder like the people at Harvard have. We know we have to work harder and work together if we're going to have the kind of success that we've had. And that aura of interdisciplinary studies, of multidisciplinary approaches to problems is something that has helped us in the past and will help us with problems that are as important as the problems that we're talking about today. And we appreciate that academia in general, and us in particular, we must fulfill our potential to really approach real-world problems. We have to take our innovation, our research, and our education and really use those to try to benefit the community. And we're being more explicit about that as part of our mission than we've ever been before. We know that we need to put our expertise to work for Birmingham. Now, our research, as I said, is very strong, it's very collaborative, and it's very multidisciplinary. Our initial strengths clearly were in the medical center and in the kinds of medical research that we still are very, very good at and forms the bulk of our portfolio. But we've also gotten very good in a variety of other areas, such as the kinds of engineering approaches that are going to be important for sustainable cities. We know we can help with programs having to do with the health of the area. We're very geared into that. But in addition, we've got people that are looking at relics in Egypt. We have people that are approaching diseases like sickle cell anemia. And we have folks that are making better coatings for a variety of industrial and biological applications, and folks that are looking out for computer security. So we have developed strength. It's across the board, and probably surprising to many of the people in Birmingham who see us only as an academic medical center. So, with respect to what it is we can do with this innovation, we very much want to move our research from University Boulevard to Main Street, and Main Street is any place within Birmingham. It's what it is that I think we're geared to do here as we sort of become a little bit more mature in our approach to how it is we can best serve Birmingham. This is a picture that came from the BBA, actually. One of their photographers took it. For those of you who are from out of town, you may think that Birmingham is an oceanfront city. Actually, this is about 50 yards across the whole pond. in Railroad Park, but they were able to get down really low and give this impression of the fact that we really do have this beautiful, wonderful waterfront where our harbor expertise is going to come into play. The way we go about turning our innovation and our discoveries into real-world solutions has to do, in large part, with something we call the UAB Research Foundation. This is where our faculty who have intellectual property, who have really thought of something novel, can go with their ideas and have that idea evaluated, and if it's good enough, have it be acted upon. We've had over 2,000 invention disclosures. We have executed 430 options or license agreements with various established companies. We hold a bunch of patents, and we've also created over 50 startup companies, most of which have occurred in the last 10 years or so. We bring in money for this. We reinvest some of it with the departments and the schools where those people came from. And we also distribute some to our inventors as personal income. We have a situation that's very much like most academic medical centers or universities, where about 25% of the revenues that are generated by any patent will end up being shared by the inventors in addition to their salaries. We think that's a very fair, and it's a really market-appropriate way to treat the innovations of our faculty members. Our technologies have been in a variety of sectors here: materials, engineering, informatics, medical devices. Here are some of the companies that some of you might be aware of. BioHorizons is a dental prosthetics company. It now has 300 employees in the Inverness area and has presence worldwide. It's very big in that sector. BioPist is our first spin out. It's never been wildly profitable, but it is doing very well, and it's something that we are in fact very, very proud of. MedMind and Imagion are both great software kinds of approaches that have been very successful and actually have been bought by bigger companies now. We have some that we've just spun out. Discovery Biomed just moved out of Innovation Depot, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Vipar, Endomimetics are still in Innovation Depot, and innovative composite solutions. We are looking for ways to use thermoplastics in applications that make more sense than using steel. So again, you see expertise that goes across the disciplines here. So what about Innovation Depot? There was an old Sears building that was basically vacant, 140,000 square feet of nothing sitting on First Avenue North, that we partnered with the city to bring about something that is now a real showplace. There are about 90 companies there, 84 I guess at last count, that have space. These are all innovation-based companies that are housed in Innovation Depot. It has been highly acclaimed. It's one of the 7 hot startup incubators that was recognized by CNN Money not long ago, the only one in the Southeast. And it won an international award for a technology incubator of the year from one of its professional organizations. So if you have a good idea, you don't need to be affiliated with UAB to use Innovation Depot, but it's a place you can go with your good idea. And if it's sound, they will help you with things like putting together business plans and making your company a success. It's the kind of thing we need in Birmingham if we really are going to make this transition that we need to more innovation-based companies. So what about our interactions with the city proper and the state of Alabama? You heard Brian Hilson, the last words he spoke referred to the fact that Birmingham was so dependent on UAB. This is what they wrote, that the impacting role cannot be overstated. We appreciate the great responsibility that comes with the trust the leaders of Birmingham are putting in us, and we are very eager to play this leadership role that's been outlined here. We're working very closely and very well with the business leaders in the community to try to make sure that we are making Birmingham as prosperous as possible. This Birmingham Business Alliance has put together this blueprint. Part of that blueprint was to allow them to hire a vice president for innovation and technology who interfaces very closely with us. We have also hired within UAB to provide a better way to scout for commercial opportunities. We're out in the field more. We're looking for ways that we can find companies that we could grow out of the technologies that we have here. We also are providing mentoring, as well as an entrepreneurial education experience. The School of Business has been exceedingly active in redefining itself under Dr. Clark's leadership, so that we did have the kind of horsepower that's going to be necessary to complement the technical expertise and allow these ideas to become companies. As we better appreciated what it was that was expected of us and how we could better interface with the community, we went back to our strategic plan and we tweaked it some. We didn't make any wholesale changes. But we appreciated that we had to more explicitly include touch points to local industry. We've done that, and we believe those kinds of tweaks that we've made. We really are interested in making sure that we can see local economies grow because local industries are a success. College of Arts and Sciences has started something they call the Interdisciplinary Innovation Forum. This just started a month or two ago, and we talked about energy. We had a philosopher who talked about the link between needing cheap energy if you were going to break the yin-yang that comes from going green and allowing countries or areas that are in the poverty zone to become more productive. That doesn't happen easily unless you have clean energy. You'll just get more dirt in the air. So it was a highly successful session. The health system has an innovation board. We're looking for discoveries that aren't just based on research, but it's based on the fact that we might have a nurse who's discovered a better way to put an IV in. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. We're looking for good ideas throughout our system that we maybe can commercialize and maybe can turn into some business opportunities. And we've hired an entrepreneurial business development consultant who's actually here today, Dennis Leonard, to complement the expertise we have within the Research Foundation. And then lastly, we've started this Edge of Chaos. This is a Max Michael brainchild. Many of you know Max. He's a little bit on the edge, if not completely out of the box sometimes. But the Edge of Chaos,